Okay, suppose we're now dividing instead of multiplying. A to the sixth power divided by a to the second power. Well, we have a times a times a times a times a times a being divided by a times a. And I should have made that green to be nice and color coordinated. Well, this is the same thing as, this can be separated out into a times a over a times a, and then that gets multiplied by a times a times a times a. These two first a's get divided by these two a's, and the rest of them are left. Well, what's a times a? What's anything divided by itself? This just equals 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. These two a's in the denominator cancel out 2 of those a's in the numerator. So what we're left with is a to the 4th power. 6 factors of a in the numerator, 2 factors of a in the denominator. You end up with 4 factors of a. All right, well, what would happen if we turn things around? If we put the a squared in the numerator and the a to the 6th in the denominator, that shouldn't be too crazy. We just flip this over. Okay, now see what we have is we have the a times a over, oh, come on. We have the a times a over a red a times a being multiplied by, but see the other 4 a's, they end up in the denominator. So this again equals 1. A times a over a times a. That's 1 again, but we end up with 1 over a to the 4th. Because there are 4 more factors of a in the denominator than there were in the numerator. So you end up with those extra 4 factors of a in the denominator after canceling out has taken place. Now there's also one more property that is kind of, let's say we have a over b to the 3rd power. That's just a over b times itself 3 times. Oh, come on. A over b times a over b times a over b. Well, that's just a times a times a, which is a cubed, over b times b times b, which is b cubed. In other words, this power of 3 applies to the numerator and to the denominator. Let me go back and show you a rule for this. If we have a to the m power divided by a to the n power, it just ends up being subtract the exponents. 6 minus 2 ends up with 4. That's pretty much all there is to section 8.2. Please read the examples. Not read the examples, study the examples.